Hello everyone, this is Fat Air with Hardcore Casual Gamer. Today I have Hilary Craven with Solar Crusader.
Hello everyone.
Hi. So can you just go and jump right in and can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your team?
Sure. So we have a great team, pretty large team for an indie, I think, and we're all pretty experienced. So, like we've said, my name is Hilary Craven, and I'm the co-founder of Solar Crusaders. I focus on mainly game design and kind of overall management. Ollie JD is our other co-founder, and he's the lead programmer.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually are looking to bring on a whole division of like a writing team.
Awesome.
So I'm really excited about that. We've had a lot of people asking us questions and people looking to be involved. And so we're putting together a little team, which is something that I was originally going to take on all the writing and had done a lot of the kind of the storyline quests so far. But to have other people look at them and give me their opinions and to be involved is going to be great.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, for all our fans and soon to be your fans, can you tell us a little about Solar Crusader for those who are not familiar with it?
Sure. So Solar Crusaders is an online multiplayer top-down strategy 4X game that takes place in space with a simulated virtual economy, and it takes place in a sandbox universe.
Awesome. I cannot wait for it personally. So you have something that you're going to implement. It's called the agent system. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Sure. So the agent system is an adaptive artificial intelligence simulation that populates the universe. So basically, it does anything that a human would do.
Okay.
So let's see. So the universe will never feel empty because the NPC will be playing as a human, and you won't really tell who's an actual person and who's just a computer. So if you log on at really weird hours of the night and the game's just going, so there's not tons and tons of people playing, the computer will be playing, and so it will feel populated. It won't ever really feel empty.
Okay, all right. So a little bit kind of Matrix action, maybe?
Yeah. And there's a game called City Skylines.
I've heard of it. I'm actually looking forward to playing that.
Yeah. That has a really good AI, and ours is very similar to that.
Okay. So you're going to have, I believe it's 5 races, right, in the game?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's what? Robotics, monks, humans. Oh, I'm forgetting the other 2.
So there's a rat race, which we call the builders, and and then a plant race.
Okay. Is there going to be any kind of racial tension in the game at all?
So there's going to be all the race have their own backstory and their own kind of personalities. There's no specific these guys hate these guys, but for example, no one really trusts the rat race and certain things like that. So there will be aspects of each race, but there won't be any per se tension that we see so far.
Okay, so maybe not so much emphasis on the racism.
Yeah. We don't want race wars.
Oh, but that would be kind of fun in space. No. So 4X games have been lacking in space games. What inspired you to make a space game with 4X?
So I agree entirely that we need more 4X space games. And space is just awesome because it's endless and has so many possibilities that everyone wants to explore space. But basically, how we were inspired was by playing a board game, a space board game called Battle Stations. And then I'm a really big Civ fan, and Ollie, the co-founder, is a really big Eve fan. And so we kind of were trying to bring those worlds together. And then there's also FTL, which is another great space game. And so we're trying to incorporate all of these aspects for it.
Okay, awesome. So I hear Solar Crusader is going to be multiplayer. How will that work?
So basically, you'll be able to, kind of what we said with the NPCs, you'll be able to play almost like a single player game if you wanted to, where you're just going on and you don't have to have teams or friends to really survive in the game. Okay. Which is, I feel as though some MMOs tend to be, you have to have a group or you won't survive. You can't survive.
Right.
We want to have it very much so where it's you can totally play this by yourself and have a great time. But you can also team up with your friends and potentially do quests together and fight battles together, or like protect each other. I think is more so of how that's going to be useful.
Okay.
But we also want to have an aspect where people who don't know each other protect each other. So it's some sort of system where if you're being attacked, you can send out like a distress signal, and anyone who like comes to your rescue like automatically gets like some like financial compensation for it and things like that, so that everyone will kind of be protecting each other.
All right. So is this going to be like an MMO size, or just like a couple of people, or?
So if we're building it in case it becomes MMO size. We're kind of making it. We ideally how we think it's going to be most enjoyable is if it's in between. So it's not just a few people, but maybe a few thousand playing together online.
Just a few thousand. Just a few. So you will be doing a Kickstarter just tomorrow, if I recall, by the time we're recording this. How has the process been for you and your team?
So I've actually never done a Kickstarter, but I've supported a lot of Kickstarters. And one of my good friends, about 2 years ago, did a Kickstarter for his documentary. And so I was around during that to see how much time and, him constantly asking, answering all these questions and comments and updating people. So I got a little exposure so that I feel like I know what I'm getting into. But I do know that it is going to be a lot of work. So we're kind of anticipating that not a lot of production will happen in this next month, because we'll be focusing on kind of producing maybe like screenshots or demo like aspects that help clarify people's questions. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing I've heard the most, is it's a little trying during the Kickstarter period.
Yeah.
So, it's really interesting that you decided to do, I think, 15%, right, to charity. What made you come to this decision, and which kind of charities?
So we want to mainly focus on kind of, tech game-based charities. For example, Olivia, who's one of our team members, she used to work with a charity where they would bring games to like sick children in hospitals and eventually bring them like, Xboxes and games to play with and things like that. And so I thought that would be a really good, we've always thought about having a business that contributes back to society, that gives back, that it's not all about making profit. As long as you can make enough to potentially produce other games in the future, the rest can basically go to contributing to society. So one thing that we were originally interested in doing was making a charity where it's kind of involved with programming and maybe teaching people and getting people exposed to programming. So we were thinking of targeting maybe like community college kids and having free classrooms where they can come in and they have like computers for them to like learn how to program and potentially see if it's something that they'd be interested in. I know there's already programs going on that's for like kids or specifically for women, or there's one called, I think, Black Girls Code. So we're potentially thinking of just donating to charities for now and then eventually starting up our own charity.
Okay, so kind of the community helps you get this game out, and then you kind of bring back to the community as well. That's a really cool concept. I like that. So I also see that you're going to try and give 5% away of the profits away to other Kickstarters. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's Kick It Forward, which is a program that you basically just like announce that you're in. I don't think you have to do much more. But you're basically just, announcing that you're going to pledge 5% of your actual like game profits towards Kickstarter, which I think is a really good idea, because Kickstarter is like this amazing platform where somebody who has an idea can literally go to the community and say like, hey, this is my idea, or like, this is what I've built so far. Take a look. If this is something that interests you, why don't you buy it ahead of time, and then I can finish making this product. And I think that's just such an ingenious idea to kind of cut out investors and cut out the ability to like make your dream come true. So I think it's just such a cool thing. So when I heard about the Kick It Forward program, where you're giving back to other Kickstarters and helping other people fund their idea without the kind of intent of getting stuff, I thought that would be cool.
Okay. I mean, I like it.
Yeah. So mainly games is probably what I'll focus on, supporting. But, other cool Kickstarters that I think are cool ideas. And it's just kind of like a give back to the actual, like, Kickstarter community. Because I think once you give more money in it, then more things get funded successfully, and then more people are more likely to fund other things. And it's just a big circle that helps everybody.
All right. I like it. Well, obviously, your Kickstarter will be happening while when this video comes out. Is there anything you'd like to let anybody else know about your Kickstarter or any other sort of news that might be coming up?
Sure, yeah. So we are really excited to be doing this Kickstarter, and one big aspect of it that like we can't really do ourselves is spreading the word through your like family and through your friends. It's a really big help if you see our Kickstarter and support it and share it, because it reaches more people. I think it's the hardest part of potentially making an indie game is not only just making the game, but a huge aspect is just getting people to know about it.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, this is Hilary Craven. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So, guys, if you want to know more about Hardcore Casual Gamer or Hilary Craven and Solar Crusader, you can go to our website, which we're going to have links at the bottom, hardcorecasualgamer.com, for videos, reviews, streaming, and more. And we'll definitely have a link to not only your Kickstarter, but your Solar Crusader page as well.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your night, all right?
Thank you.